Hi, I'm Sue Stone of the Sue Stone Foundation, and I'm passionate about sharing what has enabled my own huge life transformation in every area of my life. Personally, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically, in literally every area of my life. And now it's my passion to empower and help other people to live their best lives. One of the things I love to do is to bridge the gaps between the spiritual world, the scientific world, and also the physical, the material world. So what I thought I'd do today is try and explain as simply as I can, and I hope it comes over clearly, a short video, in this short video, what has enabled me to understand so much, which has moved me forward so much in my life. So I want to come and just start back to the universe. So our universe, as you may know, is holographic in nature. And a simple definition of a hologram is that the smallest part contains all the information that creates the whole. Okay, now sort of jumping forward now to an idea that's highlighted in the science of quantum physics is that our thoughts have the ability to move electrons. I will explain all this. Now, let's think about it. Our whole universe is actually made up of energy, and everything that we see as physical, as solid, when we break it down, like the chair, if you imagine we broke the chair down to the next level, to the metal, and then to the elements of the metal, and then when we break it down and we get to an atom, and of course our whole universe, when broken down, comes back to this state. Now, an atom itself is holographic in nature. If you think about it, it's just like a mini universe. Our whole universe is like the sun with planets revolving around it. Likewise, an atom has a nucleus with all the electrons revolving around it. So what science wanted to do was study these electrons. And there's a famous experiment called the double slit experiment. Now, I'm not going to get too technical here because I have to keep it simple for myself, but I find it easier to understand. And if you want to know a bit more about this experiment, if you Google Dr. Quantum double slit experiment on YouTube, there's a really cool 5-minute cartoon explanation that's taken from the film What the Bleep Do We Know, that explains it all very eloquently and very simply. But in simple terms, what they wanted to know was, with these electrons, were they physical matter? Were they something solid? Or were they a wavelength? Were they energy? Were they a light frequency, a photon? So was it a physical particle or a light frequency? So what they did, the scientists set the experiment up to test for the physical particle. So that's what they tested for, that's what they looked for, and they saw a physical particle. Then they set the experiment up to test for the wavelength, the energy, the light frequency. And that's what they went looking for, and that's exactly what they saw. So the point is, what we are looking for influences the way in which the electron behaved. The way the scientists, what they were expecting to see is what they saw. It's kind of this, coming back to this expression, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But the point is, we've got to remember what we are thinking about, what we are looking for and expecting to see influences the way the electron behaves. Now, if we remember that our whole physical universe is made up of atoms and electrons, and that our mind has the ability to influence these electrons, then it is our thinking thinking that changes the expression of our reality. Wow, sounds a little bit woo-woo at the moment, but believe me, this is not my opinion, this is science. And this is what science continues to show us. So, another great example that I want to share with you is something from the science of quantum physics, again, is non-local phenomena. Might sounds like a science lesson, but it's really exciting, this information. And what they did is they wanted to observe these electrons. Electrons go round in pairs. One spins one way, the other spins the other way. And what they did was when they reversed the spin on one of the electrons, the other one instantaneously reversed its spin. So what they did was they separated these electrons, the two pairs, they separated them, the scientists, and put one here, for example, and I've read one was across the country, some have said across the globe, but the point is they separated the two electrons with a huge, huge distance. And the moment they reversed the spin on one electron, instantaneously the spin on the other one reversed. Now, what this shows us is that the way the electrons behaved and the communication between them was what we call non-linear. Time and distance didn't matter. I find that quite exciting. In fact, I find it very exciting. But take, for example, if we had a big football or a basketball and you were to bounce it on the floor, you would see the bounce, and a split second later you would hear the bounce, because light and sound travel at different speeds. But when it comes to electrons, there is no speed. The communication between the two of them was instantaneous, ever-present, all-knowing, omnipowerful, ever there, ever-present. Now, this is what lots of people would call the infinite intelligence, the supreme power, the source, the universe, God, this ever-present, intelligent power. And this is exactly what we all live in, and this is exactly what our thoughts do. Okay? So, this non-local phenomena is hugely exciting because they've even proven that every single photon in our universe is connected to every single other one. Now, I find that hugely exciting as well. And this is where people put a glass ceiling on their thinking with their limiting thoughts and beliefs that they have about themselves. So if we can start to sort of think big and dare to dream, it isn't about keeping your thoughts small. We'll only ever achieve in life as far as our thoughts take us. And something else really quickly before I finish, I also want to explain to you about an experiment they did with a B-29 bomber. And a guy who was the gentleman in World War II that was the bomber himself, that sat in that glass bubble in the bomber, the one with the gun, terrifying spot to be in. And what they did was they took a swab of out of his mouth, some of his cells, some of his saliva, and they took it 9 miles away, and they put it under scientific experiment, a bit like a lie detector test or something, so they could monitor any change in those cells. 9 miles away, the gentleman, they put in front of a video of a B-29 bomber over the place that he would have been in World War II. And at the exact moment when the bomber started to fire, on the video, the cells, this guy's cells 9 miles away went absolutely crazy. And this is exactly how our thoughts work. So all I want to stress is that we've got to understand that every thought we think is heard by every cell in our body. This is so powerful. This is the ancient wisdom that the masters taught us. Everything we think and everything that we believe is at the core of who we are and what we create in our lives. And of course, this can work both ways. You know, our background and what we believe stems from our culture, our conditioning, our programming, and what we don't want to see in the world, that this working in a negative way. So really what I just want to stress here is please understand how powerful every thought that you have, as I say, because every thought that you think is heard by every cell in your body. So when we send out negative thoughts into the world or towards other people, unfortunately, what we give out, we get back, and ultimately it's harming our energy, what we're going to create in our lives and our health. So when people say, you know, send love and peace in the world, this is really the thing to do, and it's something that I've worked through and has created a wonderful experience. And with the knowledge that our intention is so powerful to send positivity and love and compassion and forgiveness with people, all it's doing is helping ourselves, because peace begins with us. It's about taking responsibility. And just to finish off, as they would say, world peace will never be stable until enough of us find inner peace to stabilize it. Anyway, I do hope you found that helpful, and please do get in touch if you'd like to find out any more through my website, suestone.com, or indeed join our global team of amazing people in the Sue Stone Foundation. Thank you.